Hello, community. Welcome back to this special episode. We can say we usually do it on Thursday. This week we have a double week episode here in the PancakeSwap kitchen. And on the new episode of this Pancake Talks, I think it's episode 19th. The first one were not recorded, so you may say I'm lying, but I assure you I'm not. On this episode, we have a really particular project. I think we haven't had any project like this before, but before introducing the guest of today, I don't do this completely alone. I have my partner in crime here, um, tuning in from the other side of the world. Say hi to Annie. Hey, Annie Seto, how are you doing today?
Hello, Chef Fran. Ready for another day of Pancake Talks and ready to learn new things about the project coming today. It's a special, as you say, and yeah, it's related with Bitcoin. Not much leak,
Yeah.
but yeah, interesting because there is a new narrative as well creating around Bitcoin finance. So let's learn a little bit what's going on in here.
Perfect. Yeah, as you say, this is kind of different since it's related to Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin and DeFi don't get along super seamless. I wouldn't say well, but it's not super easy to integrate. But here we have a person that will help us to understand a little bit better. So let me introduce you. It's not a random dude, it's the dude. So, hey, dude, how you doing today? Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Chef Fran and Annie, for inviting me. Like you said, I'm not any random dude. I'm the dude from Garden. Super excited to be on this pancake talk. I really like the audio song that you had at the beginning. It was really groovy. Reminded me of some road trips.
Sorry, I have to I have to apologize. I was trying to make the joke with your name, and I forgot to say that you come from the marketing team from Garden Finance, a Bitcoin integration project that you are going to tell us a little bit more. So sorry, I was trying. Don't forget the dude joke. Don't forget the dude joke, and I forget to mention the project, which is the most important thing. Sorry.
No, okay, that's okay. Yeah, everyone
uh,
likes.
Yeah, sorry. It's like first, since I heard that you named yourself the dude, I said like I need to mention this in on the introduction, and I forget to say garden finance. Sorry. Okay, so as an introduction, like you can mix a little bit about yourself, and also if you can explain what garden finance is and what is its mission in this space.
Sure. So before I got into the Web3 or crypto space, as you would like to call, I used to be a robotics engineer. Um, and at while I was in university, one of my very close friends was actually working at REN Protocol, which is one of the OG bridges at the time, and they were one of the first people who really were doing great research in Bitcoin interoperability. And that's when I first came to know about Web3 and crypto. And afterwards, I was doing some autonomous driving projects and stuff, and I was getting really bored of the MNC 9 to 5 kind of life. And yeah, my friend kind of inspired me to learn more about Web3 and crypto and all of the philosophy and the values that the industry is trying to uphold here, and that kind of attracted me a lot. And I teamed up with him on his next project, and I'm here today. So that's a little intro about what I've been my journey's been like, and my journey's result is Garden, right? So Garden, at the most basic level, is a super fast Bitcoin bridge that enables you to swap native Bitcoin to any asset and back, right? And when I say super fast, uh, Garden lets you bridge Bitcoin in less than 10 minutes. 10 minutes is what the average block time is on Bitcoin. So basically, what that means is, Garden lets you swap BTC in less than a block's time. That's a crazy amount of innovation, considering that, let's say, something like Threshold takes you 3 to 4 hours to unwrap your TBTC back to Bitcoin, and likes of, let's say, ThorSwap or projects built on Thorchain take anywhere between 1 hour to up to 15-16 hours, depending on the size of the trade. So that's the value of speed. And as Shefran was mentioning in the beginning, right, uh, it is not extremely seamless to connect Bitcoin with DeFi, and that has been the case for a really, really long time, right? Bitcoin, look at this. Bitcoin, this OG asset, that asset that makes up almost 60 to 70% of overall volume in Web3, right? Is very underserved when it comes to interoperability and DeFi. So much so that they had to build an own ecosystem on top of Bitcoin L2s, ordinals, and all this. So since Bitcoin cannot come to DeFi, people started building DeFi to Bitcoin, right? So that ended up happening. So Garden, we started Garden to solve that problem. The team is ex-Ren BTC team, so we've been doing Bitcoin interoperability for almost 7 years now. So you can say Bitcoin interoperability is in our genes. We've been operating Garden for about 6 months now, and in 6 months we've done about $800 million in volume. That too in closed access, by the way. So it was invite only for the past 6 months since we were testing out the product and everything. But still, a lot of people actually got themselves an invite, joined the application, and started trading just because of the need, right? The need for people to mobilize Bitcoin from Bitcoin chain to other EVM chains and use it is a very serious need in this space. And imagine that, like people are coming inside closed access applications and using it. And yeah, that's kind of validates all of our journey. And we're super excited on what Garden will do in the future. So that's a little intro about Garden. We still have a lot of time. I will explain more things about Garden, how it works, what's the technology, and everything. But yeah, happy to answer any follow up questions from the chef and Annie.
Wow, I must say that's impressive background from youth, like working on robotics and autonomous driving, and now full on Web3 with interoperability of Bitcoin, and also, as you say, the team working in this interoperability problem of Bitcoin for so long. That's impressive.
Now I
Yeah,
want now I want to answer, and now I want to ask about autonomous driving too.
sure. So I always tell people when they ask me, what made you switch from that to this, I say, it's just robot cars to robot money. Right. That's what excited me so much about smart contracts and Web3 in the first place. It's trying to eliminate um, human characters from the system of finance in a way that is very good for the system, right? If you consider, right, I don't want to get too political, but a lot of financial systems, when they depend on people, the human error is what causes a lot of problems. And in a way, the smart contracts in my mind is robot money, right? Once we create the system and we all come to a consensus that this is how it's supposed to go, it validates it without human intervention and human corruption also, in a way. So that's why I really love this space.
With that reason, I think saying that, I think you would pass any HR interview. I love the reason.
Awesome.
Okay, Annie,
No,
go
yeah,
go ahead.
I follow up with next questions.
Uh-huh.
Because I believe Garden Finance use atomic swap functionality. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
So,
sir. Yes.
so if you can introduce that to our viewers, like what is this atomic swap? Can you explain it a little bit, this technology and how it works to exchange bitcoins? Can you explain how the swap works and what are the benefits that offer compared to other type of exchange methods?
Definitely, yes. So atomic swaps as a concept is not a new thing. It's been actually been discussed in research papers and in developer circles almost for about 4 years, I would say. But the reason why it hasn't been actually used to build projects up until this point was because it wasn't possible. Like 4 to 5 years ago, interoperability was still a very budding space, and using your atomic swaps was not really possible at that time. But now I think we've come a really long way as an industry, and right now it is possible. That's why we're able to do it. And to explain, what atomic swaps are, right? Let's take a step back. So interoperability, normally, how does it work, right? There are centralized and decentralized ways of doing it. You would have all heard of synthetic assets like WBTC, TBTC, right? And all of these interoperability protocols. How they work is they have a centralized custodian network in between that is actually securing the bridge, right? And the problem with that is in the name itself. It is centralized, and that's the reason why there are a lot of hacks. Multi-sigs gets hacked or networks get hacked, and as people, a lot of people know, bridges are sometimes synonymous with hacks as well. So there are a lot of drawbacks in the current system where the dependence is heavily on um, centralized custodian networks. So what atomic swaps does is it lets interoperability happen without a centralized party in between. It lets people swap between each other across chain. For example, let's say if I'm on Bitcoin and Annie is on Ethereum, um, atomic swap contracts can make it so that I can actually swap my asset with Annie seamlessly without depending on any centralized parties. The security is all on blockchain, right? It's on-chain security. Um, so atomic swaps is built on a type of smart contracts called HTLCs, hashed time lock contracts. It's a little complex subject, but if you can Google it, it's later on. It's a very interesting area to study about. So HTLCs are a complex piece of smart contract, but interestingly enough, are something that can be built on Bitcoin chain too. As a lot of people know, Bitcoin chain is notorious for not being scalable and not very programmable, but HTLCs can still be built on Bitcoin chain, and we've actually done it. And as a result, users can actually be able to swap native Bitcoin directly from here to anything on any other chain, right? So we're enabling that experience. So at a very basic level, atomic swap is like a peer-to-peer swap that happens on an order book. Like any centralized exchange like Binance or whatever, where people can actually do peer-to-peer swaps. Atomic swaps makes that possible on DeFi, where you can actually swap an asset with another asset with anyone across different chains. And Garden does that for Bitcoin with any asset on any other chain. And the reason why it's a very interesting piece of technology is because in the word it says atomic, right? What atomic means is that either it happens or it doesn't happen. What that means is either the peer-to-peer swap actually happens and you get the funds, or it doesn't happen and you get the funds that you already have, right? So what that means is your funds don't get stuck anywhere in between, right? Either the swap happens and you get the asset that you want, or you can just take the asset that you already had and just move on. As a result, it reduces the security risk of the actual swapping experience, which is something a lot of people want in bridging because, as I was mentioning before, it's not a really secure systems that are existing right now. Right. I hope I was a little clear. It's a
Yeah.
little complex, but yeah.
Can I dig a little bit? Like, for example, if you pay the gas for the swap to happen and it end up not happening, you already spend the gas, and but at the end, if it fails for whatever reasons, it works like this.
So what we have done on the application is we've actually let people to kind of let people to pay fees in our native token called seed, so that you can actually pay with Bitcoin or any other asset too. But we've enabled a feature where people can pay with seed, so that if, let's say, the trade fails, they can actually get back their fees too.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. And one question related to that is, so in this technology, it's not required to have liquidity pools in both sides of the bridge. Is that correct? Or
Yes, we don't need to have liquidity pools, but we run something called filler bots. So people can actually come and run a filler. So basically, filler is basically like a market maker, you can say. So what they do is, let's say you want to swap from Bitcoin to wrap Bitcoin on Ethereum, right? So the filler's job is to be the counterparty on your trade. So let's say you want Bitcoin and he wants wrap Bitcoin, you will do the swap, right? So instead of having liquidity pools, we have liquidity fillers. You can run the liquidity filler bot and act as counterparty on the application. So we have currently few close partners who are running liquidity filler on Garden, and they enable all the swaps.
okay, that's more clear for me. Thank you for answering, Jude.
Thank you.
I will add more. I will add a little question on that because it's actually it's super interesting. Anyone can be a filler. I mean, they need to contact you. They receive a notification. There is a dashboard where they can see where you need a filler. How that works.
So currently, we are in the process of decentralizing the filler mechanism. Since we've been only active for like the past 6 months, we wanted to be secure in the beginning. So we use the filler run by close partners. But now, in the next 3 months, we actually want to decentralize the filler process, where anyone in the public can stake seed tokens and become a filler. So the process of becoming a filler is you stake some seed tokens and then you provide BTC liquidity or other asset liquidity that is we are supporting on Garden, and facilitate the atomic swaps. And when you do that, you get the fees from it. So that is definitely something, a use case that will be possibility in the next quarter. Right now, what people can still do is people can stake seed and actually earn staking rewards that is generated from the fees. So we actually have a very cool staking and market making mechanism. So one thing we felt is, when you have an order book, right, and fillers who are facilitating the orders on it, if there are only one or two fillers, they have the monopoly and they can play with the system, right? So what we decided is we created another actor in the market making mechanism called stakers, and their responsibility is to give their vote for fillers who are doing a good job, right? In the sense that they accept, when they, after accepting orders, they don't cancel the orders, they fill the orders in the right amount of time, these kind of metrics. And when you vote for a certain filler, a percent of which of his fees comes back to you as rewards, right? In this way, people, these takers are incentivized to one, vote for fillers who are really good at doing their job, and two, since if let's say all 100 stakers vote for one person, right, it means the rewards they get will be very low. So people are then incentivized to vote for other people, other fillers in the system, so there is a balance, and at the end, no one gets a monopoly and everyone is incentivized to be a good filler, in the sense that always facilitate orders on time, make sure once you take up an order you are definitely facilitating it, otherwise your success ratio goes down. So things like that. So staking is already live. People can stake, I think, 2100 seed to become a staker in the system, and in about 3 to 4 months, decentralized filling is also will be open, where people can stake seed and also become a filler.
Nice. So you introduce your token seed of Garden Finance.
Yes.
A part of this staking, there is any other utilities for the token?
Yes. So, like I was mentioning a little earlier, C token can be used to pay fees on Garden right now, in a way that becomes like a multi-chain gas token in a way, because you don't have to hold other gas tokens and you can just use seed to take care of your trades. So that is one type of utility, and seed is also used to participate in our governance. A little bit more about seed token is that we actually intended Garden to be a purely community centric project from the beginning. we've put aside almost 65% of our token supply only for community incentives. The idea is to get more community people on board and have them kind of run the project ahead. And I think that's in a way one of the nature of crypto, in the sense that it's about decentralizing control and have more people be part of the system and take it forward instead of few people having all the control. That's why we decided from the beginning the token supply should have a huge chunk of it for community and create opportunities for community to earn seed and then stake that seed and take active part in shaping the project. That's why governance is a really important part of the system. And yeah, I think these are the few things right now that are there. There are two other things I don't want to mention now because I want to keep it as a suspense for another few months.
I need to put on the guidelines for the future, like guests needs to bring leaks to the table. I will
Yeah.
put it as a must for the next episode. So you are free. We are free now, but just a
Yes.
reminder to myself.
Awesome.
Okay, I don't. I think you mentioned, or maybe not, but Garden Finance has a program called Seasons.
Yes.
And could you detail a little bit about the program and how the community, the users, can be involved and benefit from it?
Yes, yes, definitely. So, I think all of us, whoever is listening, has been in crypto space for a really long time and knows that one of the best ways, usually, to onboard a lot of people to try out the application is airdrops. Um, but we know that airdrops have been used to death. Like some projects promise airdrops and that never happens, and it's a very complicated thing. But at the end of the day, it's still a very great tool to get people to use the application, get skin in the game. And for projects like Garden, where uh, we want it to be a community-led project, Seasons is our way of actually getting people to know about Garden and using it and slowly have skin in the game. That's how it started. So when we started our project back in November, December, we thought we needed a creative way for people to interact with the application. So we created seasons. So seasons are like this limited time trading competitions, like you can say, uh, that people can participate in Garden, and as a result, get retroactive airdrops. We've done two seasons until now. The third season is happening right now. um, both the initial seasons were 1 month long, and people we created like different kind of tasks that people can do on the application. The goal for us was to actually make people to test every inch of the app so that we know for sure everything is battle tested on Garden before we went in a way live, completely live. So the first two seasons were that they were very successful. We did about, I think, 650 to 700 million in the two initial seasons, where a lot of people were coming and testing out the app, using the application and everything. And we were doing airdrops after the season. Currently we are doing season 3 is a little different this time, because we wanted to try something new that was not done before. So what we did for this time was we wanted to showcase people. So when we started Garden, the first pair that we were supporting was Bitcoin to wrap Bitcoin. Now we are doing more assets, but we started with wrap Bitcoin because we felt that it's one of the more usable and liquid synthetic Bitcoin variants there is, and there was no direct and easy way for people to convert Bitcoin to wrap Bitcoin. So for this season, we wanted to create a theme where we would showcase all the different kind of wrap Bitcoin opportunities that are present in Arbitrum ecosystem, which is where we are currently present. Um, and we've been chatting with a lot of projects who have WBTC yield opportunities or uh, different kinds of like that, and showcasing them on the Garden website. And also, one other thing that is there in this season is that people can come on Garden and trade Bitcoin for any asset, essentially for free, because we are giving back the fees, that is the cost of doing the trade, in seed rewards back to people, making it essentially free for people to come and try out garden, see for yourself if it is any gold. And yeah, so those are the two value props for this season, and that's how we actually met PancakeSwap as well. PancakeSwap's WBTC ETH farm on Arbitrum is currently incentivized through a quest on Garden right now, and people can actually do that quest, basically doing the basically depositing WBTC ETH in that farm and get 20 seed in reward.
Great, great. So now is season 3. If you want to participate in this project, you can put your skin in the game and make some trades and participate on that. So very nice. Um, Also, next question is very typical from crypto projects like security and
Yes.
decentralization. You mentioned already your plan of moving for decentralization on the fillers side. What about the security side? Because we are talking about bridge and maybe people are a bit afraid of the bridge. But can you explain us a little bit how Garden Finance is working on the security of this interoperability bridge?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, like you said, and I totally agree. Security is one of the most important things in Web3. And that has been one of our pathos since our time at Ren. Ren was actually Ren Bridge was one of the only bridges that was never hacked during its lifetime, and bridged more than $12 billion worth of volume and still wasn't compromised at any point. So we take our security extremely seriously. And at a systemic level, Garden is secure compared to other bridges because there is no centralized component in between where people have to put a lot of trust on. Right. That is one of the big security, I would say, vulnerability points for general interoperability bridges. And Garden doesn't have that because purely from the fact that it doesn't depend on any centralized custodians or anything. It's purely peer-to-peer swaps done through contracts deployed on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Arbitrum, and chains as such. So the security of the system is dependent on the security of the blockchains itself, right? Which is the best it can be. And beyond that, to make sure that user funds don't get lost or anything, added we've made the peer-to-peer swap, the atomic swap system in such a way that at every point user can either withdraw their assets or somehow get access to the asset if the trade falls through, right? That is two things. And third thing is audits. A lot of projects, they don't get themselves audited by very serious folks, and we are proud to actually show the Trail of Bits logo on our website, because they're one of the best Web3 security audit guys. We use their tools all the time. They are very smart, and it's usually very scary for new projects to get audited by Trail of Bits because of how intense and deep they are. But we really wanted to work with them because we wanted to know for sure that the product that we are building is very secure. So we got ourselves audited by Trail of Bits, and beyond that, in the past 6 months, we've done about $800 million in volume without any hacks and without any incidents. So these three things are testament to our security and uh, usability, I would say.
Lovely. Thank you for your answer, dude. I see right now in the screen this APY is crazy, 152. This
Yeah.
is for staking the seed token, or what is this?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's for staking the seed token. So currently, how it works is when you stake seed, a portion of the fees that is being generated uh, is given to stakers as rewards in seed tokens. And the reason it's very high is because the APY is in seed tokens. And yeah, that's probably the cause. And yeah,
Oh.
fees is good.
All right. All right.
The average lock time is huge. I mean, get people to actually log for that amount of time. It's amazing.
Yeah, so we are very particular about the type of people we get on our community since it was closed access for a really long time. We were getting people on board who were really interested in the long term vision of what Garden is trying to build. And by the way, like for people who actually stake longer, they get a multiplier on the APY plus also multiplier on the votes that they get in the governance. That kind of incentivizes people to lock their seat for longer because that would mean rewards for longer period and also more votes in governance.
Nice, nice, nice. Great. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, I think you mentioned some of the chains that you are deployed on,
Yeah.
but those
Mhm.
are you for the things that you mentioned Ethereum and Arbitrum. Are
Arbitrum, yeah.
you, yeah, are you deployed on any other chains or any other plans in the future for adding more chains to?
Yes. So we currently have few chains in our pipeline. The order of which we will support first is based on few factors. Like currently we have Polygon, Base, and Solana as our three next big chain updates that we'll probably be doing. We applied for a grant from Polygon to deploy Garden on there, and yeah, working with Solana also on the same. So yeah, based on that, we will be deploying on few chains very soon.
Lovely. Always more change, more possibilities is always welcome for everybody.
Yes.
And yes, so we are finishing questions here. If you have any questions for Garden Finance, please write them on the chat, guys. And we are moving to the future that sometimes is very uncertain. But
Mhm.
what are your plans on the development of Garden Finance? What are the future plans you have in mind? And if you can say something, maybe not, if there are any new features or products in development that you can say to us or you are looking into implementing.
Yeah, definitely. So, the vision for Garden that we have is to reach a point where we can capture at least 10 to 20% of the Bitcoin trading volume that happens on centralized exchanges. If we can actually convince a few percentage of people who are using centralized exchange to exchange Bitcoin with any asset to come and use our solution, I think we would have achieved a really great deal in terms of one UX and two security, right? I think these are the two reasons a lot of people don't uh, prefer using DeFi applications over centralized exchanges because one UX is very easy and security not in terms of actual security because like look at something like FTX and stuff, but security in terms of actually getting back funds that they may have lost by mistake or getting locked out of their account and things like that. So that kind of security is what I'm talking about. So these two things is something that limits a lot of people from actually using DeFi a lot, even though a lot of people say that they're all for Web3, all for DeFi and everything, and still go end up using a centralized exchange, right? That happens a lot because of the convenience of these exchanges. And our true north star goal is to reach a place where we can capture a huge chunk of Bitcoin trading volume that happens on centralized exchanges onto on chain, right? So that is our north star goal. And currently, few things that we are working on. One is a lot of UX updates. So currently, like I said, Garden does sub 10-minute swaps of Bitcoin. We want to bring it down to 30 seconds. That is something we are working on, and it'll be live in the next 2 months, in less than next 2 months. And we are adding support to more assets, which will currently we support a few assets, but we want to make it full fledged. So it will be Bitcoin to any asset. So that is something that will be live in the next 2 months. And another big feature that we've worked on and currently it's in alpha stage is our SDK. So as I was saying from the beginning, Garden, our intention is to be a purely open source and community centric kind of a project. And as part of that, we actually want people and projects to be able to utilize our tech on their app itself. What I mean by that is, let's say someone like PancakeSwap, right? Garden has built an SDK that will enable someone like PancakeSwap to be able to uh, let their users use native BTC directly on the app, right? What the experience would look like is something like, you go to PancakeSwap and you look at the token list that is supporting there. You will actually find Bitcoin there. You click on Bitcoin and click on swap. Garden SDK enables it on the back end. So all the bridging and everything is abstracted away. So if, let's say, you have Bitcoin, you should be free to use it anywhere in DeFi, right? The bridging and all the heavy lifting part will be completely abstracted away from the user. So that is one great experience that we've built. It's called the Garden SDK. Currently, we have a few alpha developers working on building some solutions with it, and we are working with few close partners who participated in season 3 to actually integrate the SDK into their application. Would love PancakeSwap to use it at some point, but yeah, we'll figure out how that will work. But yeah, these are a few things that are in the pipeline for us, along with decentralized fillers at some point.
Great, exciting future for Garden Finance. Yeah, very interesting points there that you touch. Like, yeah, this integration, like these abstractions, is in the people conversations right now. Like at the
Yes.
end, you will be swapping, and you don't know what's going to happen in the backends, and you will have your Bitcoin swap very easy for other assets. Yeah, exciting times ahead. And
Yeah, like even in Solana, the new Blinks, right? The blockchain links tech is getting a lot of hype because that's a very good UX, right? It makes assets easy to interact with instead of thinking about like barriers, like okay, this is on this blockchain, this is on that blockchain, things like that, right? People can use any asset anywhere. That's like the most ideal experience, and that would get more people to actually use DeFi and crypto.
very nice. And let's see if we can catch some of these Bitcoin maxis like to the DeFi world, because
Fingers crossed.
yeah, many people in DeFi, they still understand the value of Bitcoin. And yeah, let's see if we can integrate some Bitcoin maxis here when they can earn some interest on Bitcoins, they can swap it easy. So yeah, very nice. Do we have any question, Chef Fran, from our people? Maybe.
No, I'm not seeing any question, and also I ran out of my own questions. I think you did answer it all what we throw to you. So I'm super glad of you coming to this episode. Also, we are discovering a new way of understanding Bitcoin. I know this is something like Bitcoin Maxis doesn't really like, that they only think that Bitcoin is for holding and not using in everything else. I like the variety of ways that we can use our assets. So I celebrate these integrations. At the end, we hope every people to use it, right? But also to have the possibility is something nice. If not, we have a thing that you can't move, you can't do anything about it instead of holding it. So yeah, I tend to completely celebrate this kind of integrations. Anything else you would like to share with us, Dude, before wrapping up? The mic is yours.
Yeah, so about BTC Maxis, I think BTC Maxis have softened up recently. I feel like, because I'm seeing a lot of budding DeFi ecosystems getting built on top of Bitcoin in the past 1 year. Like previously, I think a lot of people imagined Bitcoin to be this very kind of value holding asset only. But over the last year, there people have created a lot of experiences around Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin feels like a more creative asset in a way, like Ethereum and the likes. I feel, Bitcoin maxis will slowly start to see the value of having more financial applications being built on the asset, and not just have it be this very boring, just value based thing that it's been for a really long time. And yeah, gardens all for it. That's beautiful. Like Bitcoin is one of the OG assets, and I feel personally that if we can solve Bitcoin's problems, we will get the rest of the world onto crypto, because that's the asset that everyone knows and everyone will try to use first. And if we can uh, make that experience very easy, that creates a better onboarding experience onto Web3.
Yeah, very nice conclusion here from Dude. And yeah, I think that's everything from today. Thank you very much, Efran, Dude, for coming to this Pancake Talks. That was very nice to know a bit better what people are building on top of Bitcoin. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I say bye bye for today.
Wow, and thanks for wrapping up, Annie. Yeah, I come with I will left the stage with the idea that we need to continue softening up maxis of everything, not only Bitcoin, about everything, also
Yeah.
about traditional finance. Thank you, dude, for coming up today. This was an amazing Pancake Talks episode. And if you have any questions, oh, remember that the quest that you mentioned is still live. You are going to see the screen on the banner on the screen. You only need to stake minimum $5 in liquidity of WBTC and ETH on that farm to enter to the quest. And yeah, you can find other information on Garden Finance socials, and also you can come to PancakeSwap community if you have any questions. Have a nice rest of the day, afternoon, evening, depends on where are you watching. And thanks, dude, again for coming today. Thanks, Annie, and see you later, folks.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.